Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to our English class. I hope everybody is doing well. It's been such a long time since we've done another class, another meeting, or another day or night. So, again, welcome back to our English class. I hope your mind, no, I hope you already rested well so that you are totally ready for another night of learning session. Now, before that, let me just quickly check my stream if it's okay when it comes to the slides and the audio. Okay, everything is good. My slides are good, my audio is good, so no problem there later on. But still, if there are any problems that I may or we may encounter later during our session, then please do tell me in our comment section. Okay, so I am encouraging everyone to please participate, to please do some interactions with me or with other persons or other students here during our 1 hour session so that I can really see that I have students here and there's someone listening to me and learning from me for this session tonight. Okay. Anyway, for this evening, as you can see on your screen, we are going to have a McDonald's vocabulary fun. So remember, no, if you still remember our last lesson, last meeting, we finished off with the remaining words for the McDonald's vocabulary lesson. So basically, our last lesson was focused on the vocabulary or the different terms or words that you might encounter inside a McDonald's fast food chain. Okay, so at that in our previous meetings, you encountered 25 words or terms in total. What are those terms? If you remember, you can always comment it any word or term that you remember we've discussed during our session. We have, okay, let me read all the words for you. We have the apple pie, okay, Big Mac, breakfast, cheeseburger, chicken nuggets, Coke, counter, cup, drinking, drive through, eat in, eating, french fries, ice, ketchup, mock cafe, mock chicken, mock muffin, menu, napkin, ordering, self service, straw, Sunday, and the last term is takeaway. So there are 25 terms in total that I have introduced to you in which you can use these terms when it comes to going inside a McDonald's or any kind of interaction that you will be doing inside the McDonald's fast food chain. Okay? So those are the different words. Let me read it again, but faster. Apple pie, Big Mac, breakfast, cheeseburger, chicken nuggets, Coke, counter, cup, drinking, drive-through, eat in, eating, French fries, ice, ketchup, McCafe, Mac chicken, McMuffin, menu, napkin, ordering, self-service straw, Sunday, and take away. Okay? So those are different words. I hope everybody's still, refreshed or still familiar with the words because for this evening we are going to start with the exercises or basically a test of what you've learned from our discussion on McDonald's vocabulary. So here you are going to answer 5 exercises, though most likely we cannot finish all in this evening, so we're going to continue our exercise next meeting. So yeah, There are exercises in total. Each exercises there are 10 items or questions that you need to answer. Okay? All right. So of course your answer it could be either be the definition of those terms or the terms itself. It depends on what is the type of the exercise. But of course the type of exercise is something that is already familiar to you, like multiple choice quiz, fill in the blanks quiz, etc. So those type of exercise, no, where you are going to do that. Now, how can you participate? Again, here in our stream, you have comment box or comment section. You can use that comment box or comment section um, consistently every time the question is being asked, or if not an answer, maybe any kind of respond that you wanted to share, you can always just use our chat box, no, or comment section for any kind of responses that you want to share to everybody. May it be a question or an answer, okay? Or any kind of comment as long as it is related to our class. Okay, so you can use this one. Let me just type it, try to use the comment section or chat box. Good evening. Are you all ready? Okay, that one. You can use this one. Okay, good evening. Are you all ready? Use this one. I'm going to constantly check the stream for any kind of comment so that if you've commented, I can totally acknowledge your comment. Okay, properly. Okay, so that is all for all the instructions that I will be given to you. So is everybody clear? Are we all good with the instructions? Again, what are we going to do? A vocabulary exercise for the previous discussion. Later on, you will know what type of exercise that you are going to do. I will be giving the instructions, of course. Okay, I think everything is good. All right, let's do some. What do you think are we going to do? Of course, we're going to do some refresher. It's been such a long time since since you've learned or encountered the vocabulary about McDonald's. No, such a long time. Last week. So we need some refresher. Okay. So we're going to do. I'm going to do a review of all the vocabulary exercise, just a short review if we can, so that you can really be familiar again with the words. For a moment, let me just, okay, how do we open this presentation? Okay, so again, there are 25 words in total. Let's start with the first word. Let me check if I can present my screen for a moment, huh? Let me present my screen. The presentation is in different file. So yes, I have to present again. hmm Okay, this one. Please bear with me. Okay, I think all good. Let me. Oh no. All right, let me check on my other screen if everything's good. Let me just check. Okay, I think all good. Okay, everything's good. I think the presentation in your end can already be viewed. So let's do a refresher or review of our previous topic on McDonald's vocabulary. So again, there are 25 essential terms that you've learned, starting with apple pie. Now, what is apple pie? Apple pie is a warm, crispy pastry filled with sweet cinnamon apple filling, which is a delicious dessert. So that is an apple pie. Next, we have, let me just check. Okay, everything is good. Now let's start with apple pie. Again, a warm, crispy pastry filled with sweet cinnamon apple filling, a delicious dessert. So that is the apple pie. So basically, this is the first item in our specialized McDonald's vocabulary or terms. Here, we focused more on um, this. Of course, this is a food, one of the great food in McDonald's menu, which is also a famous one. No, so this is an apple pie. Now at McDonald's, apple pie is defined as warm, it's crispy pastry, so it is a delicious dessert, no, that has remained a staple of the global menu for decades. So that is an apple pie. Next, we have the Big Mac. So Big Mac is, we've already covered the warm and crispy apple pie. We move to the most legendary item on the menu, which is the Big Mac. This burger is so famous that it has its own jingle and is used by economists to measure the value of money around the world. So Big Mac is an iconic double-decker burger with special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and onions on a sesame bun. So that is a Big Mac. It has a special sauce. No, this is a double decker build. Unlike a standard cheeseburger, the Big Mac uses three pieces of bread to create two levels of meat and toppings. So that is why it's big, because it's double decker. Okay. And then the special sauce that it's talking about is a tangy, creamy sauce, which is the secret to the Big Mac's unique taste. So it is what makes the burger famous worldwide. So whether you're in a quiet town or in a busy environment like a city center, every Big Mac is built the exact same way to ensure it meets the company's high standards. Next, we have breakfast. It's a common word. For breakfast, as we know it, it is defined as the first meal of the day, usually eaten in the morning. At McDonald's, this is a highly specialized time of day with a strict cutoff. Breakfast is served until 10:30 a.m. only. So at 10:30 a.m., the restaurant undergoes a complete set of changes to switch from morning items to the lunch menu. So the grills are cleaned, the ingredients are swapped in a matter of minutes, and of course the breakfast menu focuses on different ingredients rather than the lunch menu, such as eggs, sausage, and English muffins. And because many customers are on their way to work, the busy environment of the morning is even faster than lunch. Speed is the most important factor for a successful breakfast shift. Okay, next we have cheeseburger. So a cheeseburger is defined as a classic beef patty with melted cheese, pickles, onions, ketchup, and a mustard on a toasted bun. So notice the specific ingredients that was mentioned or that were mentioned. Every single item in that list has a job. When it comes to the pickles and onions, it provides a crunch and acidity to cut through the richness of the meat, and the melted cheese acts as a glue that holds the patty to the bun. And of course, the ketchup and mustard, it provides a signature tangy flavor that children and adults love. So that is a cheeseburger. Next, we have chicken nuggets. So, chicken nuggets, as we know it, these are more than just a snack. They are a masterpiece of food technology and a core part for the speedy service system of McDonald's that we have been studying. And it is bite-sized pieces of breaded chicken that are made and sold. No, basically, by its definition, if you look at it, chicken nuggets are bite-sized pieces of breaded chicken served with delicious dipping sauces. So this sounds simple, but the system behind them is very complex. In a busy environment like McDonald's kitchen, the crew must manage these nuggets with extreme precision to make sure they're always hot and crispy for the customer. Unlike a burger that is made to order, nuggets are often prepared in large batches using high tech fryers that maintain a perfect, steady temperature that is very similar to how professional equipment in other industries must be calibrated to ensure safety and performance. So that is on the chicken nuggets. Next, we move on to a drink, Coke. So again, this is Coke at McDonald's. um Coca-Cola is the most popular soft drink, served ice cold to millions of customers every single day. Well, it might seem like a simple part of a meal. The way McDonald's manages this beverage is a master class and in specialized, it is intentional, really, to help boost the sales of this fast food chain. And of course, it is of high quality standards. When you walk into a McDonald's chain, you aren't just getting a soda from a machine, you are participating in a massive global partnership. The relationship between McDonald's and Coca Cola is unique in the business world. They have a deep professional band that ensures the drink tastes exactly the same in every single restaurant, whether you are in a quiet town or a very busy environment. So, to achieve this, McDonald's does not use standard soda fountains like other restaurants. Instead, they use a highly engineered system that's kept at a constant chilled temperature. So, as we know it, Coca Cola is the world's most popular soft drink served ice cold at McDonald's, like with any other beverages. Next, we have the counter. So, the counter here, as you see in our slide, the counter is defined as a long desk where you place your order with stuff and pick up your food when it is ready. While it may look not that complex, piece of furniture. The counter is actually a high pressure interface, a sophisticated boundary between the customer's expectation and the kitchen's execution of the expectation of the customer. So when you step at the counter, you are entering a zone of high speed communication and industrial efficiency. So this is where the front of the house team operates, and it is the primary stage for what we call the moment of truth in hospitality. The person you meet at the counter is usually a crew member, and their role is to act as the professional face of the global brand. They must be friendly, efficient, and extremely clear in their speech because a McDonald's a McDonald's counter can be very loud and lively environment. So the staff are trained to use specific professional scripts to ensure that every order is processed with 100% accuracy. Okay? So that is the counter. Next, we move on to the cup. Now, a cup is defined as a paper or a plastic container for holding your drink, and it comes in small, medium, and large sizes. The design, the inventory management, and even the functional use of the cup is really thought through by the company. And, at a critical point to the efficiency of the entire restaurant system. So the cup is the primary vessel for delivering our world famous beverages like the Coca-Cola or the Coke, such as our ice cold um, um, soft drink to the customer. In a high volume restaurant, the cup must be durable, easy to stock, and is designed for speed. McDonald's uses two main cups, type of cups, paper and plastic. Paper cups are typically used for hot beverages like coffee or for standard cold drinks in many regions, while clear plastic cups are often reserved for specialty items like McCafe iced coffees or uh, McCafe iced coffees or any kind of cold drinks. So this physical distinction helps the crew member quickly identify which drink is which during a busy rush, preventing errors before they reach the customer. Next, we have drinking. Now, drinking, as we know it, it is a common word. It is defined as the act of consuming liquids like water, coke, juice, or coffee through your mouth. While this is a natural biological need within the world of McDonald's, it is a carefully managed experience that combines sensory satisfaction with high speed service. To understand the science of drinking at a global scale, we must look at the tools we use to facilitate it. Every day, millions of people visit the Golden Arches to quench their thirst, whether they are looking for a refreshing ice cold Coke or a hot, energizing cup of coffee. The process is designed to be seamless. The act of drinking is supported by a complete set of specialized items, which includes the cup, the lid, the straw, and the beverage itself. Each of these elements must work together to ensure that the liquid reaches the customer safely and at the perfect temperature. So, in our previous session, one of our meetings, we discussed the importance of cup. It is the primary container that makes drinking on the go possible. But let's look closer at the mechanics of the act of drinking. For cold drinks like Coke or Sprite, the use of a straw is standard. The straw is not just a convenience, it is a tool that allows a customer to drink while keeping their eyes on the road or their hands in a book. So McDonald's even uses a specifically engineered straw with a wider diameter. So this design choice is really intentional. It allows a larger volume of the cold liquid to hit the palate at once, which enhances the flavor of the soda. However, the act of drinking changes completely when we move to the morning hours and the breakfast menu. When a customer is drinking a hot McCafe coffee, they usually do not use a straw. Instead, they use a specialized sippy lid. This lid is designed with a small opening that allows the customer to sip the hot liquid slowly, protecting their mouth from high temperatures while still allowing them to enjoy the aroma. So, this is a vital service in the world of hospitality. You provide the right tool for the right beverage to ensure that customer safety and satisfaction is really achieved. Okay? Next, we move on to drive through. Now, drive through is defined as a service where you can order from your car, pay at a window, and get your food without ever leaving the vehicle. So, to the casual observer, it looks like a simple line of cars. But for us as professionals, it is a complex data driven pipeline designed for maximum efficiency and precision. So, that is a drive through. Next, we move on to eat in. Now, eat in is defined as um, it is to sit down inside a restaurant and eat or consume your meal at a table with a tray. So, while this may seem like a simple choice for a customer, for those of us in the hospitality industry, managing the eat in area is a complex task that requires a perfect balance of speed, cleanliness, and comfort. So, that is eat in. Next, we move on to eating. Eating, still a common word. As we see in our guide here, eating is defined as the act of putting food in your mouth, chewing, and swallowing it to enjoy the taste. While this is a basic human necessity, no, it's basic need that we eat. In a world-class service environment, the act of eating is the final quality check for every system we have studied so far. Okay, so the science of eating at McDonald's is actually quite fascinating. Think about the Big Mac. It is engineered to be a multi-sensory experience. So the crunch of the fresh onions, the creaminess of the special sauce, the warmth of the two beef patties all hit the palate at once. So the middle club bun is not just for height. It acts as a structural stabilizer that prevents the burger from falling apart while you are eating it. This ensures that every bite is consistent from the first to the last. So this level of eating is a hallmark of global food service standards. So that is on eating. For our adult learners, the vocabulary of eating provides a great way to practice descriptive adjectives. You aren't just putting food in your mouth, you are experiencing textures and temperatures. Like, is the mac chicken crispy? Is the apple pie warm? Is the mac muffin savory? No? So, some workers might ask, how was your meal today? Or are you enjoying the new chicken nuggets, for example? And these questions are part of a vital service that monitors customer satisfaction in real time. Okay. Next, we move on to French fries. Now, French fries, it is arguably the most famous companion to any meal in the world of fast food. And according to this slide, French fries are defined as a golden, crispy, salted potato sticks, which is the most popular side dish at McDonald's. So this is more of like a simple snack, but the preparation, the holding, the serving of these fries involve a rigorous set of professional standards that ensure every single fry meets the global quality expectations of the brand. Okay? So that is French fries. Next, we move on to ice. Now, ice is defined as frozen water cubes added to cold drinks to keep them refreshing and cool. It is more of like a simple addition. So, the management of ice is also a specialized logistical task that affects the quality, the temperature, and even the flavor of every cold beverage that we serve, no, in McDonald's. So, every store is equipped with a capacity ice machine that must run 24 hours a day to meet customer demand. So, this machine is really a good addition because it filters incoming water to ensure purity and then freezes it into specific uniform cubes. So, the shape of cube is also not accidental. At McDonald's, the ice is designed to have high surface area, which allows it to chill the Coke or juice almost instantly without melting too quickly and diluting the flavor. So, that is on the ice. Next, we move on to ketchup. Now, this is an essential condiment that completes the sensory profile of our most famous side dishes. There is a ketchup. As we see here, ketchup is defined as a sweet and tangy tomato sauce, perfect for dipping fries and burgers. While many people think of it as a simple addition, in a world class service environment, ketchup is a vital component of the meal that requires its own set of logistical and professional standards. So, to understand the role of ketchup, we must look at how it interacts with our other core systems. Whether a customer is visiting the counter, using the drive thru, or choosing to eat in, the availability of this sauce is often the final detail that determines their satisfaction. Ketchup provides a necessary balance of acidity and sweetness that cuts through the saltiness of our French fries. So, the specific flavor of global standard or ketchup is formulated to have a consistent taste and a thick viscosity, ensuring it clings to the food rather than running off. So, that is ketchup. Next is McCafe. Now, this is specialized beverage service, no, a brand within a brand that caters to the refined taste of our adult learners. No, the McCafe. This is defined as McDonald's coffee brand, offering lattes, cappuccinos, hot chocolate, and more. While our standard beverage service is built for speed, McCafe is built for quality, aroma, and the artistry of the perfect brew. So yeah, McCafe represents a vital shift in our restaurant's operations. It transforms the kitchen into a professional cafe environment, requiring specialized equipment like high pressure espresso machines and milk frothers. So the crew member working the station is often a trained barista. Their role is to manage the complex variables of coffee production, the grind of the bean, the temperature of the water, the texture of the steamed milk. So this is a highly technical task that ensures every latte and cappuccino meets our global gold standard for flavor. Next is mac chicken. So this is um, a crispy chicken patty with lettuce and mayonnaise on a toasted bun. So it also highlights the commitment of McDonald's to texture and classic flavor combinations. So there's, harmony of its components, and of course, we can say it's like a master class in textural balance. The primary element that was mentioned is the chicken patty, so which is specifically seasoned and breaded to achieve a consistent crunch in every bite. So this crispness is when contrasted with the cool, fresh shredded lettuce and the creamy mayonnaise. So when a customer is eating this sandwich, they're experiencing a carefully engineered sequence of sensations, warm and crunchy, followed by cool and smooth. No? So that is mac chicken. Next, we move on to mac muffin. So we transition back to the most critical time of our operational day, the morning rush. To understand how to successfully serve millions of people before they start their work, we must look at the legendary center of our breakfast menu, the McMuffin, which is defined as an English muffin with egg, cheese, and sausage or bacon, which is a breakfast classic. While it looks like a simple sandwich, the McMuffin is really a masterpiece of precision engineering and specific cooking techniques. The egg is cooked in a specialized round ring to ensure it fits perfectly within the toasted English muffin, providing a consistent experience in every bite. Okay, so that is a McMuffin. Next, we move on to menu. So menu, um, it is the most important navigational tool in a professional environment, especially in a fast food chain or restaurant. In our world class system, the menu is formally defined as the list of all food and drinks available to order, usually displayed on a large board. While it may seem like a simple list to a casual observer, to a service professional, the menu is a complex data driven map that governs the entire logistical flow of the restaurant. It is a bridge between our kitchen's capabilities and the customer's desire. That is a menu. Next, we move on to napkin. Now, napkin is for a moment. Okay. So napkin here, it is um it is the item that ensures our guests maintain their professional appearance and comfort throughout their meal. So it is formally defined as a paper tissue for cleaning our hands and face while eating your meal. So it is, a simple commodity. The management and distribution of napkins are essential components of our commitment to quality and cleanliness for the McDonald's fast food chain. Okay. Next, we move on to ordering. So ordering is defined as the act of telling staff what food and drinks you want to buy at the counter. So this is the primary variable exchange that sets our entire logistical machine into motion. So this is a critical moment where the customer takes the lead. The process of ordering is a direct interaction with the menu, our comprehensive list of available food and drinks. So as a service professional, your role here during this phase is to be an active listener and a guide. When a guest stands at the counter, they're often processing a large amount of visual information. Your professional presence helps them navigate their choices, ensuring they find a complete set that satisfies their hunger. Okay, so that is on ordering. Next, we move on to self service. Now, this is a primary tool that has revolutionized how guests interact with our systems with a direct verbal communication with the staff. Self service is using a touch screen kiosk to place your orders yourself without talking to staff. So the self-service kiosk acts as a digital version of the menu, a comprehensive list of available food and drinks. While some guests still prefer the human connection at the counter, many adult learners and busy professionals find that the kiosk provides more time to browse through their complete set of offerings. The digital interface allows for total control over the sensory outcome of the meal, from choosing a crispy mac chicken for lunch to selecting a classic McMuffin during the breakfast rush. Anything you can do, and you can choose it at your own pace. Okay. Next, we have the straw. Now, the straw, it is an essential tool that bridges the gap between our cold beverages and the guest experience. It is defined as a thin tube used for drinking beverages from a cup without using your hands. It is a simple accessory, basically. The straw is a critical component in maintaining the golden standard of the beverage service of McDonald's. No, so the primary function of the straw, as we know it, is to facilitate the act of drinking. It allows the guests to enjoy their beverage while maintaining focus on the sensory act of eating their meal, whether that is a crispy mac chicken, a savory Big Mac, a classic Mac muffin, any. So by using a straw, the guest can consume their drink without needing to tilt a large cup, which is particularly important in a busy or mobile environment like drive-through. Okay. Next, we move on to Sunday. This is second to the last term. Now, sundae is the most iconic treat in the dessert menu of the McDonald's. It is defined as a soft serve vanilla ice cream topped with chocolate caramel or other tasty sauces. It is a sweet conclusion to a meal. No, so the sundae is also a product of precise temperature engineering and aesthetic standards. It is the core of every McDonald's menu. If you want dessert, you can go for ice cream or sundae. So the core of every sundae is our signature soft serve. This product must maintain a specific density and cold temperature to ensure that the golden state of the dessert is really consistently achieved. So when a guest chooses a sundae from the menu, they're looking for a creamy contrast to the savory items they've just finished eating, such as the Big Mac or Mac chicken. And then we move on to the last term, takeaway. So takeaway um, is formally defined as ordering food to take with you and eat somewhere else, specifically packed in a bag. So this process is the ultimate expression of convenience and requires meticulous attention to detail to ensure that the golden standard remains intact during transit. So that is take away. And that is the last word, no? That is the last term for the entire vocabulary of McDonald's that we've discussed in previous meetings. So, do we have any questions so far? Do we have any questions or are we all good? I think we're all good. Okay. Since we're all good, let's continue with, or let's start with our vocabulary exercises. Now, again, as I've mentioned earlier, there will be 5 exercises in total, but of course, it would be impossible to finish all. So, we're going to do exercises all throughout the different days of the week. So, we are going to start the first exercise this evening. Again, McDonald's vocabulary fun, 25 words. Okay, so is everybody ready for our exercises? Do we have any questions so far before we proceed? Again, you can always use our comment box or chat box. I am constantly checking it I will not I will not miss any comment or answer that you might want to share. Now, when it comes to these exercises, of course, you are encouraged to participate and give your answer. And how would you do that? You can use our chat box or comment section. Okay. All right. Okay, let's start. For exercise one, picture identification. So basically, you look at the picture and identify what is it. What is the picture showing? Okay. Next, let's start with the first one. So again, there are 10 items per exercises. So the first one, this is the picture. What do you think is this? Is this a straw? A sundae? Drinking? Drive through? What do you think is the answer? A straw, Sunday, drive-through drinking. Of course, this should not be a Sunday because again, remember that a sundae is a soft ice cream, vanilla ice cream, usually with lots and lots of sauces. It could either be chocolate or what other else, caramel, any kind of sauces that you want. Drive through, no, also because when it comes to drive through, you order it while you are in your vehicle. No, there's no vehicle here. How about for sure drinking? So Sunday is not the answer as well as the drive through. So what do you think is the answer? Is it straw or drinking? It could either be this one, but what is the focus of this one? So let's check. What do you think is the answer? Okay, share your answer in 10 seconds. Go. Okay. What do you think is the answer, everybody? Is it a straw or is it drinking? What do you think is the answer? Our answer here is drinking. No, that is straw. Because why? Because you can see it highlighted in here. Now, when it comes to drinking, of course, there should be a person acting it out. So that is on drinking. But we are going to focus here on the primary tool, that enhances the drinking experience of our customers, which is the straw. No, a simple addition or accessory. So our answer here is straw. Okay. Next, we move on to this one. Okay. So what do you think is this one? What do you think is the picture showing? Is it breakfast, Big Mac, apple pie, or drive-through? Again, what is this? Let me zoom it in so that you can really see the picture. Oh no, it's not working well. So let me just. Okay. Again, what is this picture showing? Okay, share your answer in 10 seconds. Okay, what is your answer? Let's check. Is this breakfast? No, it is not the breakfast itself, but it is a menu in the breakfast. No, it is, I mean, it could be, or not it could be, but it is an order. No, you can find it in a breakfast menu, but it is not the breakfast itself. Okay? Again, why? Why do you think it is not a breakfast? How do we define breakfast? Diba? Um, right? If you remember, breakfast is um, the first meal of the day. No, usually eaten in the morning, and McDonald's serves their breakfast until 10:30 a.m. So yeah, this is not a breakfast. It is one of the menu in the breakfast. Now next we have Big Mac. Is this Big Mac? Is Big Mac a breakfast menu? It could be, but it is not only a breakfast menu. No, it is not only specifically for breakfast menu. No, they serve it at all times, no, in all 24 hours of the day. So Big Mac is not the answer because Big Mac is a burger, no, a double-decker burger, and it's not a burger. How about drive-through? Drive-through. Still no. Why? Because again, when it comes to drive-through, you are in your vehicle ordering for takeouts. So there's no vehicle here that shows that you are ordering something. No, so that is a drive-through. So our answer here is apple pie. Excellent. So again, the answer is apple pie. Now this is an apple pie. Again, remember an apple pie is a warm, crispy pastry filled with a sweet cinnamon apple filling. You know, a really delicious dessert. No, a staple of McDonald's in their breakfast menu. Okay, next we move on to the third item. So this is the picture, and what do you think is this picture showing? Is it McCafe, straw, McMuffin, or napkin? You have 10 seconds to answer. Okay, time's up. What is your answer, everybody? No, I think this one is easy, right? But of course, if you get it wrong, then it's totally fine. We can always correct ourselves. Okay, so again, this is the picture. No, this is the picture. So what is this picture showing? Is it McCafe, straw, McMuffin, or napkin? Now, let's remember what is napkin. Do we remember what is napkin? It is something that we use to clean ourselves. No? If there is something that we need to clean, we use napkin. So that is a napkin, right? No, it enhances your experience basically. So it is a paper tissue, if you remember it right. It is a paper tissue for cleaning your hands, your face while eating your meal. So that is a napkin. And is it showing a napkin? Again, a paper tissue? No. How about McMuffin? What do you think is McMuffin? This is also one of the breakfast menu. No, that is a McMuffin. You can find it includes it is the same with what's the other one again? McMuffin is yeah, apple pie. It's included with apple pie, no, which is part of the breakfast menu. So that is McMuffin. Now, what is a McMuffin? Remember, a McMuffin is an English muffin with egg, cheese, and sausage or bacon, which is a breakfast classic, right? So that is a McMuffin. So is this showing McMuffin? A muffin? No. So it's something that we eat. Because what is the picture showing? It is something that we drink. McMuffin is something that we eat. So that is not a McMuffin. Next, we move on to straw. Now, this is our first item, right? So it is not showing a straw basically because we've already answered a straw. We've already have an answer earlier that answers a straw. Now, again, the definition of straw is a thin tube used for drinking beverages from a cup without using your hands. Usually it's used in cold beverages. Okay? So that is a straw. So the answer here is Mac Cafe. Amazing. Answer is Mac Cafe. Again, what is a Mac Cafe? That is what is showing in the how do you call that? In the picture. No, that is a Mac Cafe. So a Mac Cafe is basically, a brand. Here we can choose what kind of coffee we wanted to have. It it offers they offer lattes, cappuccinos, hot chocolate, and more. Okay, so that is Mac Cafe. Next, number six, and maybe number four. What is this picture showing? Is it drinking, Big Mac, breakfast, or counter? Okay, so give your answer in 10 seconds. Okay, what is your answer, everybody? Now let's check the options. We have counter. Now, is this counter? Let me read the definition again. Counter is the long desk where you place your order with staff and pick up your food when it's ready. So, this is a point of contact that defines the entire service experience, basically. So, that is an a counter, right? So, what do you think is this one? Is this a counter or not? This is definitely not a counter. Okay, so this is not a counter. How about breakfast? Again, breakfast is the first meal of the day, usually eaten in the morning. Is it showing a breakfast? No, it's specifically showing something. So this is not a breakfast. How about Big Mac? Again, Big Mac is a double decker burger. No? So is this showing Big Mac? No. No, this is not a burger. So our answer here is drinking. Perfect, drinking. Again, drinking is the act of consuming liquids like water, Coke, or juice or coffee through your mouth. So this one is showing juice. Okay. So this is drinking. Next. Okay. So this one, color red. What is this? Is this ketchup, drinking, takeaway, or breakfast? Okay. Share your answer in 10 seconds. Okay. So what is your answer? This is again the options are ketchup, drinking, breakfast, or takeaway. So let's check breakfast. Is this showing any breakfast? Again, we've already defined the breakfast. It is the first meal of the day. And no, it's not showing breakfast, right? How about takeaway? What do you mean by takeaway? This is when you decided to take your food outside. So they packed it up, you take it out, no, to eat outside the restaurant or the McDonald's chain. And it's not showing any takeaway. How about drinking? Again, drinking is consuming liquid. So we've already answered drinking in the last item. So this is also not drinking. So our answer here is ketchup. Now, why? What is the definition of ketchup again? It is a sweet and tangy tomato sauce, perfect for dipping fries and burgers. So if you know what ketchup is, then you remember that the color of the ketchup is red, right? So it is an essential condiment that completes the sensory profile of our most famous side dishes um like French fries, or if not a side dish, but a dish, a main dish, which could be a burger, no, or McMuffin, our double decker burger, okay, Big Mac. So that is a ketchup. Next, we have this one. Okay, so it's cold. It's dripping water. What is this? Okay, 10 seconds to answer. Okay, all right. What is your answer? We have again the options are McMuffin, Sunday, Eaten, or Ice. So is this McMuffin? What do you think? Is this showing McMuffin? Let's check one by one. Now, what is McMuffin again? Again, this is an English muffin with egg, cheese, and sausage or bacon, which is a breakfast classic. So you can find it in the breakfast menu, which is served until 10:30 a.m. Okay, so the egg here is cooked in a specialized round ring to ensure that it really fits perfectly within the toasted English muffin. No, so that is a McMuffin. And is this showing you something like a McMuffin? No. Okay, this is not a McMuffin. How about Sunday? How about Sunday? How do we define Sunday again? Sunday is, remember, it is a dessert, right? It is a soft serve vanilla ice cream topped with chocolate or caramel or other tasty sauces. So this is the most iconic treat in the dessert menu of McDonald's, and it is not showing any kind of sundae. So a sundae is basically an ice cream, and this is not an ice cream. No, this is not what an ice cream looks like. Okay. How about eat in? What is eat in? Again, eat in is you sit down inside a restaurant and eat your meal there at a table with a tray, and it is not showing any eating in. Okay, so our answer here is ice. Again, the answer is ice. Now, what is ice? Again, ice is frozen water cubes added to cold drinks to keep them refreshing and cool. So it is basically a simple addition, no, to keep your drinks really cold and refreshing. Okay, so this is showing ice. Next question or item. Okay, this is the seventh item. Okay, you have 10 seconds to answer. Okay, what is your answer? Is it napkin, mac chicken, chicken nuggets, or Big Mac? Okay, let's try to check on the different options. Now, is this napkin? Again, napkin is something that you use. No, it is a paper tissue that you use to clean yourself while you're eating. You clean your mouth, your face, or your hands. And it is not showing us paper tissue. So this is not a napkin because it is showing a food. And what talking about food, is this mac chicken? No, no, it's not precisely mac chicken. How about chicken nuggets? Also, no, it is again not bite-sized chicken nugget. That this is not a bite-sized um, chicken order. So this is a Big Mac. So this is what we're trying to find, the double decker burger. So this is the Big Mac. Next question. Number 8. What is this showing? There is a car. So that is 10 seconds to answer. Okay, time is up. So again, this is the picture. Now, what is it showing? Is this a cup? Obviously not. That is a car. So what is the relevance of the car? So that is not a cup. A cup is, what you used for your beverage. Is it self-service? Also no. How about apple pie? No, that is not a food. That is a car, which we use for drive through. Again, you order something in McDonald's. When it comes to drive through, you order something in McDonald's without going outside your vehicle, like a car. Okay, so answer here is drive through. Excellent. Next, we move on to this picture. What is this showing? 10 seconds to answer. Okay, time is up. Now, this particular picture, what is this showing? This is a food. Is it a takeaway? No, takeaway is not a food itself. No, it's the act of taking your food outside the restaurant because you're gonna eat it somewhere else. How about ketchup? No, also not ketchup because again, we remember in the previous picture where the answer is ketchup, it's all red because it is an essential condiment to fries or burger. How about cheeseburger? Also not. No, there's no cheese here, which could represent the cheeseburger itself. So our answer here is chicken nuggets. But remember, chicken nuggets is bite-sized. No, it's not something that looks like this. It's more of a chicken joy, but it's just, it's just representing the chicken itself. But when it comes to chicken nuggets, it's bite size. It's more of like a circle, no? Or something like that, no, of a shape. So that is the chicken nuggets. Next, we move on to the last item for the first vocabulary exercise. What is this? Okay, so there's a person there. 10 seconds to answer. Okay, so what is the answer? Is this drinking? No, there's no representation of a cup. This is not drinking. But the act itself could of course we could use a human because we are the one doing the drinking. What about French fries? No, it is not a food that is showing here, so this is not a French fries, as well as apple pie. So our answer here is ordering because that is what the picture is showing. A person talking. Maybe they're talking to the staff, in the counter to order something. So that is ordering. And that is the last item for our first vocabulary exercise. I hope has everybody was able to participate in their own comfortable in their own comfortable spaces there. So those are the different 10 items in the first vocabulary exercise. Now again, there are still four more vocabulary exercises that you are going to do next meetings. So do we have any questions so far? Is everything clear? I guess everything is clear, then that's good. And that is all for this evening. I hope everybody learned something new and, of course, still learn something about the McDonald's vocabulary. That is all for today. Thank you, everyone, for being with me for the entire hour. I guess more than an hour. But anyway, see you next meeting. Goodbye and good night.